I used many 7 chords in my own songwriting? I do not know. Because some of my favourite chord voicings on guitar are actually 7th ones, like this one. I love this B7 chord. I'm really quite fond of the D7 that you get in the open chords as well. But I've just not ended up using any in any song I've written ever. So today we're going to fix that. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then welcome to the chaos. I do all things music related on this channel, from just generally talking about music and musician life, to doing songwriting and production style tips, tricks, and challenge videos. This is one such video. I have sort of a mini series that I've started where I have been doing specific challenges to spice up my songwriting. But we're focusing on chords for now because I just really want to focus on trying out some new things with chord choices because it's something that I have not really delved into as much in my songwriting. Today's challenge specifically, we're going to be looking at 7th chords because I was looking at all my songs recently and realised that I have literally never used a 7th chord, which is a bit of a crime given that they are very common in pop and rock music and in more rock and roll influenced and blues influenced music in particular. And a lot of my favourite covers that I do have particular 7th chords in. I always talk about how much I love that chord, but then I haven't actually ended up using it in a song. I mean, I do know why, because I tend to write chords and lyrics at the same time, and I'm just sort of coming up with lyrics and melodies and fitting the chords to them, rather than making a choice about chords and then making the melody shift to match, which is why we're doing these videos. So, before we start, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, let's just do a brief overview of what 7th chords actually are so that we all understand the video. When we talk about chords, what we're usually talking about is triads. These are chords that basically have 3 notes in. These are the most common chords. Major and minor chords are types of triad. But there aren't only triads in the world. Chords can have as little as 2 notes, but they can have more. One such type of chord that is not a triad is a 7th chord, because a 7th chord is essentially one of the triad chords with a 7th of some sort put over the top. What's a 7th? In most basic terms, in Western music theory, we have keys and scales. We number the notes in a key based on their position in their relative scale. There are usually 8 notes in a scale, but 2 of these notes are essentially the same note because they are an octave apart. So if you have a C scale, you have 2 C's in your C scale. You have the bottom C and the top C. Note 1 would be your C, then note 2 would be your D, am I going the right way there for the camera? I'm not really sure. Note 3 would be your E, so on and so forth. So the 7th note of a C scale would be a B. This also then relates to intervals and stuff because we have different types of 7th note. We have what we call major 7ths and minor 7ths. If you want to understand more about scales and what intervals actually are and how to identify different ones, then I will link some material in the description below to go and have a look at. But I'm not going to address that in detail here because it's a vast subject and we don't have time. We want to get on with the songwriting bit of the video. So in our most basic terms, we're taking a normal triad, either a major or minor triad, which usually will have the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th note of the scale in it, and we're adding another note on top, the 7th note. That's a 7th chord. There are 4 different types of 7th chord, but I'm not going to use the 4th type in this video. I'm just going to use the first 3 because the 4th type is a more complex chord. So you have a 7 chord, which is a major triad with a minor 7th on top of it. You have a major 7 chord, which is a major triad with a major 7th on top of it. And then you have a minor 7th chord, which is a minor triad with a minor 7th on top of it. The reason why people love these chords so much, because people will wax lyrical about 7th chords, right? And they have a point. 7th chords have got that, they've got something special to them. And the something special is that normally, if you play the 7th note and the 1st note in a key, so if you play a B and a C, they're not necessarily going to sound very nice, especially if you play those notes really close together. So that would be a B and a C that are really close together. That doesn't sound nice, but if we spread them out a bit more, if I play a B and a C like this, suddenly that sounds a bit nicer. It still sounds a bit odd to us. It doesn't sound as nice as that does, because that's a C and a C, an octave apart. And it certainly doesn't sound as nice as this does, because that's a C and an E, and they sound very nice together. But if you spread them out, you don't get as much of the clashing. And if you add more notes in, then they can sound really nice, because if you're adding in other harmonies that then the 7th is interacting with, suddenly we have something very pretty. Or, rather than pretty, tense. Actually, minor 7ths, pretty. And the biggest quality they have is that quite often when you hear a 7th chord, you're unlikely to hear this at the end of any sort of phrase in a song. You're unlikely to have an entire song end on a 7th chord. chord. 7th chords, like that wants to resolve. Like that's the most natural thing, is it really wants to go to that E major. Quick theory lesson over, because that's not what this video is about. Today's aim is to write something with a 7th chord in. Now I'm actually going to try and write 3 different things. I'm going to try and use each of the 3 different types of 7th chord. So I'll show you all 3 chord progressions and I will flesh out one of them in this video. I'm probably going to write something for the other 2 as well. Whatever I do extra on top of just what I need for this video, I'll put in my outtakes when I buy me a coffee. Let's start with our chord progressions. So I came up with some initial ideas of what I'm likely to use for each of them, just because I thought that would be quicker than literally trying to start from scratch in the video. So I mentioned earlier that the B7 voicing on guitar, that particular voicing of B7, is one that I really like, and I've never used it in anything, so I want to use it in something. So we're going to start with that one. Our notes here say that we're going to do this in E major. Shocking. And then we're looking at B7 to start, and then we're looking at E, A, B, B7. Sounded nice, apparently. Let's remind myself of what that sounded like and why I liked it. That's a country song. I'm pretty sure that that particular... That's ringing some bells, as I've definitely heard that in... there's a song in my head that uses that chord progression. I'm not sure what it is. I think it is going to be nice to start on that B7. Yeah, I like that. So I think we're going to go... I think that's my chord progression for that one. So I think that first progression before this one, that would be my chorus progression. This is then verses, definitely. Okay, second chord progression, building off a minor 7 for this one, and I picked D minor 7 because on guitar you get a D minor 7 here. This sounds really nice. Initially, I was thinking I was going to do something with this. Because basically there you'd be sliding from a D minor 7 up to a voicing of G. But as I was doing it, I feel like that exact voicing is the opening of something. And if anyone knows what it is, tell me. And if I'm being paranoid and it's not actually something, there's just something that's got a chord progression, that's got that chord progression, or maybe a similar chord progression that I'm singing over it in my head, and that's why it's sounding so familiar, then let me know, because I really like that. And if I can use it, I want to. But I feel like I'm hearing something very specific that sounds exactly like that in my head. Anyway, so I decided instead we were going to do D minor 7 to A minor to C. I kind of like that. Okay, so I like the idea of doing something where we start with that D minor 7 to A minor to C, do it twice, then do an E minor to an A minor twice, then use this as like a transition. Building tension. To a G then. I quite like that. We need to do something with a major 7, and I apparently picked a major 7 again. It's got a nice voicing on guitar, this, in the open chords. And because it's so easy to do this, you can do a sort of... And then where are we going to? We're going to go to a D apparently. And take off to do a D sus2. Nice and simple, but that is nice, that isn't it? That I can hear like indie, proper indie rock, really chill acoustic kind of indie rock song coming out there. I think that's what we're going to do for this one. We're going to do that A major 7 to A, then the D to D sus2. So do this twice. Then do that twice. Repeat that and then go to a B. And then an E. And then do it again. So I have like a really simple refrain there, I think. Those are my 3 chord progressions. Which one do you like best? Which one are you hoping that I would flesh out in this video? I think I am going to flesh out that last one. I was having ideas with that one instantly. But I think my favourite chord progression so far is actually the second one. But I'm just thinking that I'll come up with something quite quickly for this third one. What's it making me feel? Dancing in those blue skies. Summertime. Too fast, too slow. Something grow. Something grow. But now I simply don't see. Something like that. That's going well, I think. I think I've got the sort of start there. Butterflies dancing in those blue skies. Summertime, always seem to flying by. Too fast, too slow. Too eager to go, but now I simply don't see those butterflies. That is definitely the start of a song. I got an idea there, so I will keep working on that. Okay, so I have officially written something that has a 7th chord in it. Well, I've not written a full thing yet. I've written the start of something that has a 7th chord in it. And who knows, maybe this will inspire me to love 7th chords so much that I end up using them in everything from now on. It'll become my new obsession. It'll become that thing that you do in every song because you decide you like it. I hope that maybe this video has inspired you to try something new with your songwriting today. Maybe try some different types of chord progressions or different chords that you don't usually go to. I'll be doing more of these challenges, so if you have ideas for specific challenges I should have a go at, something music related, something production related, something lyric related, any are fine. Just set me a challenge in the comments and maybe I'll end up doing it. If you enjoyed this video, then you might enjoy what I do on this channel in general, in which case you might want to consider hitting that subscribe button, but I know that's a big decision to make, so do feel free to check out some of the other content. Something will be recommended on the end screen. You can also follow me on all my socials, which are linked in the description below, and there is a link to my Buy Me a Coffee where that outtakes will be for my members, but you can also send one-off donations in there if you just enjoyed the video and wanted to say cheers, dude. That's all for this week's video. I shall see you guys next week with another fun music-related video of some sort.